Hi guys, so today we will talk about gastritis and how to heal gastritis in 6 steps. So before we start this video, so you can subscribe, you can like the video, you can share the video. If you do that, you will get notified every time I release a new video. I make at least one video per week. And when you do that, when you like, when you share, when you subscribe, it helps me with the YouTube algorithm so I can be more visible on YouTube and help more people. So on this slide, you can see Weston Price. So this is my Bible for diet. So you will hear me talk about Weston Price in many other videos. I made also a whole video about him on my channel. So go have a look. Actually, it's a documentary that I translated to French. So, but you can just watch it on my channel. My health advices are mainly relating. So diet is very important for health, and the Dr. Price is my main reference. The Weston Price Foundation also. And but of course, depending on your digestive issue, eating Weston Price type of diet is not enough, and you need to adapt your diet depending on your issues. So that's what I explain in all of my videos. I talk about candida, I talk about SIBO, I talk about gastritis, I talk about colitis. So of course the diet will be different depending on your condition. And also here on the picture on the right, you can see how I see health. So we need to go hand in hand with nature to heal ourselves. So that's why on this channel you will never see me recommending chemical drugs, but only natural remedies and mainly herbal remedies that are very efficient with no side effects or very, very small side effects compared to chemical drugs that are dangerous for most of them. Anyway, so let's start because there are many things to say about gastritis. So in this video I will try to make it short. I know I won't be able to make it short, but I will try to simplify gastritis as much as possible. So forgive me if I don't give too many details. I will try again to simplify. And if you have more questions, then you can ask in the comments under this video, or you can ask in my Facebook group. So you can join me on my Facebook group, the Candida Slayer Forum in English. So the link will be under this video. You can also read my articles on my website, thecandidaslayer.com, and you can also find my course on how to heal your gut and your digestive system, your whole digestive system, on my website, also thecandidaslayer.com. I will put the link under this video. So what is gastritis? So basically, I will talk about these two types of gastritis in this video. So gastritis, what does it mean? It means that your stomach is inflamed. The lining of your stomach is inflamed, okay? This is what it means. So gastritis means inflammation of the stomach, of the gut lining inside of your stomach. So this is the picture you can see on the left. If you look at the picture on the right, this is a little bit different. So this is another type of gastritis. So in both cases, you will have very bad pain in the area of your stomach. But if you have the case on the right, the problem is not in your stomach. The problem is in your esophagus. Okay, so there's a muscle that we call a sphincter that opens and closes, and it's the at the junction of the esophagus and the stomach. Okay, so there are different things that make this muscle open and close, but it's mainly depending on the acidity of your stomach. Okay, so when it's not very acid in your stomach, it stays open, and when it becomes more acidic, it will close. So this sphincter is made to, so when you eat your food and your stomach is working, malaxing your food, so this sphincter will close, so nothing will splash out of your stomach and get into your esophagus. This is the goal of this sphincter. Okay, so when you have the type of gastritis on the picture on the right, you have a problem with your sphincter, and your sphincter doesn't close properly, so the acid in your stomach goes back up in the lower part of your esophagus, and it burns your esophagus, and that's why you have pain. Okay, so either you have pain in your stomach, like on the left side, or it's the esophagus, mainly on the right side. It can actually be both at the same time. But yeah, that's basically what we will talk about today, those two cases. So what are the symptoms of gastritis? So there are several names for the symptoms, like GERD or acid reflux. So like on the picture you can see on the top left, you will have, a strong pain. Usually it's after eating, but not always. But yeah, it feels like on the picture, like the upper part of your body is on fire. So another symptom is like you can vomit blood. So that's when your gastritis is really advanced and you have ulcers. So what are ulcers? Ulcers are open wounds, okay, that cannot heal. So that's what is an ulcer. So if you have an open wound in your stomach, then you will bleed. You have trouble gaining weight because you cannot digest your food correctly. Of course, if your stomach doesn't work properly, you cannot digest your food properly. You will have nausea. So this is, a typical symptom of gastritis, or generally of any other issues in your digestive system. It can also be a symptom when you have problems with your gallbladder and your liver. But if you feel nauseous, if you feel that you're not hungry, it's just your body speaking to you, telling you that it's not feeling well enough to digest food. So that's why you are not hungry and you feel nauseous. So this is one of the symptoms of gastritis, feeling nauseous, because your stomach is not strong enough to digest lots of food. So you can eat a little bit, but you will very quickly feel full and sometimes nauseous. You can burp a lot if you have gastritis. Again, because if your stomach cannot digest properly your food will kind of ferment, and this fermentation will create gas and you will burp. It's a little bit more complicated than that. It's related to the acidity of your stomach. You will have stomach pain, of course. Not only the pain will be in the area of your stomach, but it can be in the area of your intestine also, because if you don't digest your food properly at the level of your stomach, undigested food particles will get to your intestines and will hurt your intestine also. So you can also become B12 deficient because the lining of your stomach, the cells in the lining of your stomach make what we call intrinsic factor that is necessary for your body to be able to absorb vitamin B12. Okay, so if your stomach lining is destroyed, is injured, then you will make much less of this intrinsic factor. So you will become deficient in B12 and you can become anemic. Okay, you can have bad breath. Okay, when you have stomach issues, usually bad breath is not, the problem is not in your mouth, unlike most people believe, but the issue is in your stomach. Again, because you don't digest your food properly, your stomach is unhealthy, and it comes from your stomach. What are the causes of gastritis? There are many causes, usually, and as always, and as we see in many of my videos, chemicals in our food, chemicals, chemical drugs, chemicals all around us are, one of the main causes of most digestive issues. So regarding gastritis, not only antibiotics, as we have been talking about it in the previous videos, antibiotics are bad generally for your body, for your digestive system, for your whole digestive system, not only for the gut, but also for the stomach. There is a microbiome also in your stomach. We will talk about H. pylori. And we know that some strains of bacteria keep in check H. pylori. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So anyway, when you take antibiotics, you destroy your microbiome, and it causes many, many issues down the road. We also know that painkillers are very, very bad for your stomach. Painkillers like aspirin or ibuprofen, these types of painkillers are very, very bad, not only for your stomach, but also for your liver, actually. But it destroys the lining of your stomach. So this is a very common cause of gastritis. Also, the PPIs, the proton pump inhibitors, the antacid drugs are very, very bad for your stomach, because as we will see in the next slides, we will talk about the relation between gastritis and the lack of acidity in your stomach. Gastritis is caused by a lack of acid in your stomach. So when you take antacids, yes, it will relieve your symptoms, but it will worsen your condition down the road. So yeah, it's not a good idea. Of course, the chemicals in our food, like glyphosate in our food, the chemicals in processed foods, of course. So processed foods are to be avoided as much as possible. Again, I talk about that in many of my videos. The main causes of most digestive issues are always chemicals and processed foods. So why processed foods? Again, because there are chemicals in processed foods, and also because processed foods are devoid of nutrients, and your body needs nutrients to repair itself. So how can your body repair itself, repair its stomach lining, if you don't give the nutrients it needs, with proper food? So yeah, many issues with processed foods. I also talk about it in my other videos. If you stuff yourself with huge amounts of foods like Furious Pete does, this is the picture in the middle on the left. You can see Furious Pete is a famous YouTuber who became famous because he can eat huge amounts of food, and it's usually huge amount of junk food. So if you do that, that's one of the worst things you can do, of course, for your stomach, but for your entire digestive system. It's a lot of stress on your stomach, especially if you don't chew your food properly. It makes your stomach work so much more. And we know that stress is, one of the main causes of many, many diseases and stress. Either physical stress or emotional stress is a very big cause of gastritis. So, try to not stress your digestive system. Okay, so eat easy to digest food and chew your food properly. We will talk about that in the next slides. But yeah, emotional stress. So there's a debate: is emotional stress the cause of gastritis, or does it only aggravate your gastritis? So when you read about it, there's a debate about it. It seems that originally people were saying that stress is one of the causes of gastritis, but now they say it's not the cause, it just aggravates the symptoms. Anyway, we don't care. We don't need to know if it's the cause or if it aggravates your symptoms. You just need to stay away from stress as much as possible. We will talk about it also in the next slides. Alcohol, if you drink a lot of alcohol is very bad for your gut in general. It's very bad for your stomach. And yeah, there are many studies, clinical studies, who showed that alcohol destroys your stomach lining. So if you drink a lot of alcohol, of course, that's a bad idea if you have gastritis. If you smoke, also for different reasons, it seems that smoking, so when you smoke, your body doesn't make as much as saliva as it should, and because of that, it kind of dries out, your esophagus and your stomach, so it's bad for that. It seems also that smoking increases the stomach acid for nothing. It's a little bit the same mechanism as when you eat gum, so we will talk about gum also. But yeah, so smoking anyway, we know is bad for many things. So if you have gastritis, stop smoking. And yeah, chewing gum is not a good idea if you have gastritis, if you have digestive issues in general, because when you chew gum, your body thinks that you chew food. So your entire digestive system gets ready to digest food. So all of your digestive organs starts to, making acid, making bile, making enzymes, to prepare to digest the food. It thinks it's coming, but it's not food that is coming. It's nothing, because you just chew gum. So this is very bad. This is a source of stress for your stomach, but for your entire digestive system, chewing gum is a bad idea. And also it's always has nasty additives, nanoparticles, artificial sugars. I talk about it a little bit more in some other videos. Being vegan also can be one cause of gastritis, because your stomach acid is mainly to digest proteins, animal proteins. So if you stop eating animal proteins, then your stomach will stop making acid. Okay, that's as simple as that. Because to digest vegetables and to digest carbs, we don't need as much acid. Okay, so your body is lazy. It won't make things that it doesn't need. So if you have been vegan for many months, so your stomach doesn't make acid or very little acid, your liver doesn't make enough bile. Well, it doesn't make as much bile as if you had a normal diet, because again, you don't need as much bile when you eat only vegetables. But the day you decide to eat a little bit of meat, then you will have trouble, because again, to digest meat, you need stomach acid. But as your stomach doesn't make acid anymore since you are vegan, next time you eat a little bit of meat, it will hurt, it will feel uncomfortable, and it will feel like you cannot digest the meat. And that's why many vegans who try to eat animal food after many months of being vegan, they say, I ate some meat and it just hurt my stomach. This is proof that meat is bad for you. No, it's not. It's just because your stomach doesn't make acid anymore. So for the vegans who want to eat meat again, they need to go very slow and to support their stomach. And we will see how in the next slides. H. pylori, this is the picture on the bottom left. So H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, is considered as one of the causes of gastritis. So H. pylori is a bacteria that can be found in your stomach, and that can overgrow in your stomach, and it can drill holes in your stomach and cause ulcers. So that's the official theory about H. pylori. But I believe that nature is intelligent, our body is intelligent, bacteria are intelligent, and I don't believe that bacteria just decide to attack you for no reason. And I don't believe either that bacteria start to overgrow for no reason. There is a reason why H. pylori overgrows in your stomach. It's because there's an imbalance in your stomach. And so that's what we will see in the next slides. You have to keep your stomach in the right balance. If your stomach is acidic enough, H. pylori won't overgrow. And also, as we were saying, if your food brings enough probiotics, H. pylori won't go out of control. Okay. Coffee. So here also there's a debate. Why? So it's not a debate that coffee is bad for people who have gastritis. It has been seen for many people with stomach issues. Coffee makes their symptoms worse. The debate is why. So we don't know exactly why coffee is bad for the stomach. Originally, people were saying it's because coffee is acidic, but it's actually not that acidic. Coffee has a pH of about 5. That is not crazy acidic. You know, your stomach, the normal pH of your stomach should be between 1 and 3, basically. So, is it because coffee is acidic? Apparently, it's not the reason why. Is it because of caffeine? So this is another theory why coffee would be bad for your stomach. It's because the caffeine could disrupt the normal function of your sphincter, as we were talking before, the sphincter of your esophagus, between your esophagus and your stomach. So caffeine would disturb the proper function of this sphincter, and that could be one cause why coffee is bad for your stomach. But anyway, so we just need to know that coffee is bad for you if you have gastritis. So when you know the causes of gastritis, then you know what to do, actually. Okay, everything we saw in this slide, chemical drugs, chemicals in general. So if you have gastritis, avoid chemicals as much as you can. If you take drugs, I'm not telling you to stop your drugs right now, because many drugs, you need to wean them off. You cannot just stop them cold turkey. Otherwise, you can get many issues. So work with your doctor. If you want to stop your drug, if you want to stop your IPP, your PPI, sorry, you need to talk to your doctor, and you need to really, wean them off. Okay. So anyway, stay away from chemicals if you want to be healthy. Stay away from stress. Stop drinking alcohol. Stop smoking. Stop eating junk food, processed foods. Cook at home with organic, ingredients, with organic food. Eat a proper amount of food. Don't stuff yourself like a pig. Chew your food properly. Don't chew gum. Don't be vegan. Don't drink coffee, and we will talk about H. pylori after. So, yeah, this is the basis, okay? When you know the causes, you know what to do. So what you can do also, as we were saying, stomach issues are caused by you stressing your stomach too much. So you can relieve your stomach by helping it, beforehand. So you can pre-digest your food. If you pre-digest your food outside of your body, it will, be much easier than for your digestive organs to digest the food that has been pre-digested. So how to pre-digest your food? So it's easy for your stomach to process your food. So you can pre-digest your meat by marinating your meats and your fish also. You can marinate them in an acidic medium. It can be lemon juice, or it can be vinegar, like apple cider vinegar. So you take a piece of meat and you cover it with lemon juice or vinegar, and herbs like garlic, thyme, rosemary, onions, raw. And you put that in your fridge for several hours. So the acidity and the phytochemicals in the herbs will start to break down the proteins. So you leave it in your fridge like that for several hours. It can be even overnight. Then you take your meat, you rinse it very well, with lots of water, and you dry it, on a towel, and then you can cook it, in your pan or whatever. You won't need to cook it, for a long time in your pan, because again, the meat is already pre-digested by the marinade that you made. And you will see that these marinated meats are very easy to digest. You can also marinate your meat in other things. It doesn't have to be in lemon juice or in vinegar. You can marinate your meat in papaya juice, or papaya puree. You can marinate your meat in kiwi also. These fruits have enzymes that break down proteins, okay? Or in pineapple juice also. You can also eat dairy if you tolerate dairy, and if you tolerate fermented foods in general. So what we will talk about right now, it won't work for people who have dairy intolerance or histamine intolerance. But if you don't have dairy intolerance or histamine intolerance, fermentation is a way to pre-digest your food also. Okay, so you can ferment your milk, and that makes yogurt, kefir, or cheese. So it pre-digests your dairy products, your milk. You can also ferment your vegetables or your fruits. If you make sauerkraut, this is a way to pre-digest your vegetables. Okay. Also, dairy is usually quite easy to digest because it doesn't require a lot of acidity, to digest. So your stomach doesn't have to make a lot of acidity to digest dairy. So again, this is easy to digest for your stomach. But again, if you don't have dairy intolerance or histamine intolerance, vegetable juices. So we know that fiber are hard to digest. So you can just juice your fruits and vegetables, and that's very, very easy for your body to digest. And you can also juice celery. So, many people say that celery helps them rebuild their stomach acid. We will see in the next slide that, it's mainly sodium chloride that is very important to make stomach acid. But other minerals like potassium chloride is also important, and magnesium also, and you find all of that in green juices. So I really like juices, and I recommend everybody to drink juices, and I recommend that in most of my videos. So juices very easy to digest, and as long as it's mainly green juices and not juices made with very sweet fruits, you don't need to worry about insulin spikes. Okay, as long as at least 80% of your juice is made from green veggies and not from very sweet fruits. Also, you can eat meat stock or bone broth. That's very easy to digest. That's great to repair your stomach lining, your gut lining. Also, I have videos about that. You can also try raw meat. Raw meat is easy to digest for many people. You will have to try for yourself, because I have seen both. I have seen people who say raw meat feels very, very easy to digest for them. This is my case. I feel that raw meat is super easy to digest. It's super nice for my body. But I've seen people saying that they feel like raw meat doesn't digest well for them. So you will have to try for yourself. But raw meat, I like raw meat also. So number 2, eliminate irritating foods. So that's mainly for people who have, gastritis, like here on the left side of the slide. When your stomach lining is inflamed, then you will have to stop eating like very acidic or very spicy foods. If your gastritis is more like the one on the right, then it will be different. These foods won't irritate you. Okay, so if you have an inflamed stomach, acidity, spicy foods, will worsen your symptoms, because your gut, your stomach lining is already injured, is open. There are open wounds, there are ulcers. So if you put some acidity and some spicy things on it, of course you can imagine that it hurts. If you take oregano essential oil, also, I love oregano essential oil. It's great for many things. I have been recommending it on my channel. I still do, of course. It's awesome to get rid of any infection. So anyway, it rebalances, your gut microbiome. I love oregano essential oil, but it's not good for people who have an inflamed stomach, and for people who have ulcers, gastric ulcers, and even who have ulcers in their gut, so because this is a very strong essential oil and it can actually burn your mucous membrane. So be careful. If you have ulcers or if you have a very, very sensitive gut, don't take oregano essential oil. Coffee, so we have been talking about coffee before, so you need to eliminate coffee if you have gastritis. Apple cider vinegar. So apple cider vinegar and lemon juice, it depends on your condition. We will talk about it in the next slide. But if your condition is like this on the left side, then you need to avoid lemon juice and apple cider vinegar. That can hurt you. Okay. Number 3, restore your stomach acid. So this slide is for the people who have gastritis, like here on the right side, as we were saying before. So if your sphincter is not working properly, so normally your sphincter will close when you have enough acidity in your stomach, and it won't close if your stomach is not acidic enough. So here I simplify a lot because there are other reasons why your sphincter can stay open. But again, in this video, I will try to simplify it, and because it will already be a very long video. So if you have this issue on the right, you need to keep your stomach acidic. Okay, you need to improve your stomach acidity. It needs to be acidic. If you have this issue on the right, it means that your stomach is too alkaline. It's not making enough acid. Okay, and because of that, the food that you eat, anything that you eat, will go back up in your esophagus and it will burn you. Okay, so for people who say they have gastric acid reflux, this is what they have usually. It comes back up in their esophagus. So you would think, okay, so my stomach is not acidic enough, but the acid burns the esophagus. How come if it's not acidic enough, it shouldn't burn the esophagus? So your stomach is covered with mucus. It's a very thick layer of mucus that is made to protect your stomach from the acidity. Okay, so your stomach must be very acidic, but your esophagus doesn't have this protective layer, okay, this protective mucus. That's why even if the acidity in your stomach is not acid enough, it's still too acid for your esophagus. Let's say that instead of being 1 or 2, your stomach acid is like 4 or 5. This is really too alkaline, so you won't digest your food properly if your stomach is 4 or 5. Okay, but when it goes back up in your esophagus, 4 or 5 is too acid for your esophagus. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope I'm clear enough. So anyway, so if you have this problem on the right, you need to improve your stomach acidity. You will feel much better if you acidify your stomach. To do so, you can drink lemon juice. So don't drink pure lemon, you have to dilute it with water. Same for vinegar, you have to dilute it with water. So drink lemon juice or apple cider vinegar with a little bit of water before each meal. This will acidify your stomach. Therefore, the food you will eat will get digested properly, and also the sphincter will close, so the acidity won't go back up in your esophagus. Okay? You can also eat ginger. Ginger also helps for that. You can actually make a mix. You can make lemon juice. You put a pinch of natural unrefined sea salt, in the lemon juice. You grate some ginger, you put that in your glass with the lemon juice and the salt, and you drink that before each meal, like 5 minutes before each meal. this will be great to improve your digestion. Okay, so salt is very important also because, as we said before, stomach acid, to make stomach acid, your body needs sodium chloride. Okay, so you need salt in your diet, and you need, of course, unrefined salt. Okay, so try to find unrefined salt, and preferably sea salt, but Himalayan salt is fine also, but it needs to be unrefined, okay, and as natural as possible. You can also take betaine HCl with pepsin, like this one on the bottom left is good, with gentian bitters. So this can really help you. Again, it will acidify your stomach, but these things we are saying now, like the apple cider vinegar, the ginger, the lemon juice, and the betaine HCl, can actually worsen your symptoms if you are the case of the gastritis on the left. Okay, so this is why you really need to know what type of gastritis you have. Is it the one on the left or is it the one on the right? Okay, so this slide here, number 3, it's for the gastritis on the right. Okay, and you can also drink a bitter tea before each meal. So the bitterness, the bitter taste, is a signal for your digestive organs to start making digestive fluids. Okay, so when you drink something bitter like dandelion tea before a meal, your stomach will start to produce acid, your liver and gallbladder will start to release bile, your pancreas will start to release enzymes. Traditionally, people have been doing that for thousands of years, drinking something bitter before each meal. In France, we call it an apéritif. I don't know if you can say that in English, an aperitif. And an aperitif is always something bitter. So, number 4, so you can take all these things to stop the pain, to repair your stomach lining, and to protect your stomach lining. Okay, so for people who have gastritis like the one on the left, they will need to do this slide number 4 first. Okay, that's what you need to do first for several weeks. You need to repair your stomach lining first. Okay, for you who have the inflamed stomach, you need to do that for several weeks, and then when you have healed your stomach, then you can improve your stomach acid by doing the slide number 3. Okay, but you need to do things in order, okay, to heal your stomach. So here you have clay, aloe vera gel, MSM. So I will go one by one. Okay, so clay. So clay is great to repair your stomach lining and your gut lining also, but clay can be like a double-edged sword depending on your condition. Clay will absorb the acidity in your stomach. So like if you have like a severe pain, like if you feel like you have acid reflux, like right now, like it's hurting like hell, then it's the right time to drink clay. Okay, make a glass of clay, drink that when you have the pain. Okay, this will relieve your pain instantly. But it can actually, drinking clay can actually worsen your pain if you take clay like after your meal or before your meal. So you will have to try for yourself, because I've seen different people reacting differently with clay. But again, so if your problem is that your stomach does not make enough acidity, clay can actually, worsen that, because clay will absorb the acidity in your stomach. But in any case, when you have the pain, the stomach pain, like it's very acute and it's right now, to take in an acute situation, it's very good. Take clay when you feel the pain. You can also take aloe vera gel when you feel the pain. Okay, and regarding the aloe vera gel, I prefer to actually recommend it between meals, not during meals or not right after meals, but between meals. I have 2 videos on my channel about aloe vera gel, so go watch these videos if you want to know more. MSM is also great to heal your tissues. It's great to heal your mucus lining in your stomach, but also in your gut. So take MSM. You can find a video on my channel about MSM. Cabbage juice is also great for stomach issues because cabbage juice is rich in vitamin U. U for ulcer. Okay, this is why they called it vitamin U. U for ulcer. Cabbage has been shown to heal ulcers very efficiently, and especially stomach ulcers. So not only because of vitamin U, but because also cabbage, as all greens, have a lot of chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is great to heal your tissues also. So this is why I love vegetable juices, and I recommend everybody to drink vegetable juices. I will release a video about cabbage juice soon, maybe next week. So subscribe to my channel if you want to get notified when I put this video on my channel. So cabbage juice should be drunk between meals, okay? And be careful if you have hypothyroid. Raw cabbage is not a good idea if you have hypothyroid, so this is something you must know. Zinc is very important to heal the stomach lining and your gut lining also. I don't recommend to supplement with zinc, with a zinc supplement. If you know me, if you know my channel, if you have read my articles on my website, you will know that I am very against supplements, like regarding like minerals and vitamins. So mineral and vitamin supplements are not good because they are isolated, and for the vitamins they are often synthetic, so your body cannot absorb them correctly, and it will make it will create many imbalances. So I never recommend to supplement with isolated minerals. So for zinc, just get zinc from your food, and the best source of zinc is animal products. It's meat, it's fish and seafood. That's great for zinc. So eat these foods. Antioxidants, like the famous ones like vitamin C and vitamin E. Of course, there are many other antioxidants, but vitamin C and vitamin E are very important to repair your tissues. Vitamin A also, actually, all vitamins are very important. But I always recommend people to supplement with vitamin C, but a natural form of vitamin C and natural form of vitamin E. Again, I will never recommend synthetic vitamins. So for vitamin C, my favorite supplement is acerola powder. Okay, this is not an isolated vitamin because it's the whole fruit that is made into a powder. So acerola powder is very good. For vitamin E, you can you will find vitamin E in vegetable oils, so make sure it's virgin cold pressed vegetable oil. You can also find vitamin E in cod liver, actually. Slippery elm or marshmallow root gel, this is very good to protect your stomach lining and your gut lining. So it's the same, a little bit the same, it will work the same way, a little bit like for clay and aloe vera gel. It will protect your lining, and it will cover the lining with a protective gel. So so slippery elm and marshmallow root gel won't actively heal the wounds, heal the ulcers, but it will protect them. Whereas aloe vera does both. It protects your lining, and it also actively heals your lining. Okay, it's the same for licorice root. Okay, I'm not talking about the licorice sweets. No, licorice root is also awesome to heal your tissues, your esophagus, your stomach, your gut. So you can buy some licorice roots and chew them, and it's also very good. It tastes very sweet, but it's great. It's only a problem if you have hypertension. Okay. And here again, bone broth or meat stock is great to repair your stomach lining. Again, I have videos on my channel about that, so go watch my other videos about that. Number 5, eliminate infection. So we were talking about H. pylori before. More than an infection, it's just an imbalance. So you just need to bring back, probiotics in your digestive system. Probiotics are not only good for your intestine, but it's also good for your stomach, of course. So I usually recommend people to start with probiotic pills before probiotic foods, because I see, and it was my case also, I see that most people with an injured gut, an injured digestive system, cannot tolerate fermented foods at first. Okay, so if it's your case, if you cannot tolerate sauerkraut, kefir, yogurt, or other fermented foods, then you need to start with probiotic pills. Okay, I like this brand here, Garden of Life. There are other brands that are very good, but I like this one. And it's easy to get for anyone, in Europe and in the US. And as soon as you can tolerate fermented foods, of course, eat fermented foods every day, like kefir. I have a video about kefir on my channel. Yogurt, sauerkraut, I also have a video about that on my channel, so that's great. You can also drink colloidal silver if you are in a country where it's legal. In France, it's illegal. It's not allowed, to recommend colloidal silver to take internally. So of course, I must tell you that I'm here recommending that for people who live in a country where it's legal. So if you live in a country where it's legal to drink colloidal silver, do so. It's great. It will stop the overgrowth of H. pylori. It will enhance the activity of your probiotics, and colloidal silver is just great to rebalance your body in general. So colloidal silver is great. It's to be taken between meals. Mastic gum also has been shown to be very helpful for people who have an overgrowth of H. pylori. There are many studies that you can find on internet, many testimonials of people who saw great results with mastic gum. So you can buy mastic gum. Mastic gum is actually just the sap, the dry sap of a tree, originally from Greece. And yeah, it has been used for thousands of years. It's very safe, but be careful, because there are different qualities, different brands of mastic gum. I bought one a while ago that had no taste. It is supposed to be very tasty. It has essential oils inside. The natural essential oil of the tree is in the sap. So if you chew mastic gum and it has no taste at all, then it's not a good mastic gum. It should be like chewing like mint gum, sort of. Okay. Aloe vera gel, we talked about it in the previous slide. It's great to repair your stomach lining, but not only. It is also a mild antifungal and antibacterial, so it will also help to rebalance your microbiome. And clay also, there are studies that show that clay is great for people who have H. pylori overgrowth, because clay will absorb, it won't kill H. pylori, it will absorb H. pylori, and it will just get rid of it through your feces. And 6, reduce stress. As we said before, stress, if it's not the cause, at least it aggravates your symptoms very much. So it's very important for people who have stomach issues, gastritis. Stress is a huge one. Okay, so stay away from stress as much as possible. Stop listening to the news, turn off your TV, or even better, throw it in the trash. Your TV, your radio, the news all day long, who repeat that we live in a horrible world where there's a pandemic and we will all die. Oh my God, you need to be fearful. Oh my God. The media are, the worst cancer of our time. So stay away from media, from mainstream media. They just want to rot your brain and make you live in fear. So this is just the worst thing to do for your gastritis. So just turn off your TV and never watch it again. Stay away from stressful people also. If you have a stressful job, maybe you should reconsider your job and maybe look for a better job for you. You are not supposed to live in stress every day of your life. Okay, it's not good. That's not how we are supposed to be. We are not supposed to be stressed all the time. Okay, so stay away from stressful situations, stressful people. Have a good sleep. So I know it's easy to say, but sleeping well is important. Okay, I might make a video about that. Exercising is very important to release stress. Breathing also. Breathing when you exercise, but also you can do some breathing exercises, when you do meditation, when you do yoga. These things are great to reduce stress. And you can also supplement with magnesium. That is also great. And it's very needed if you are very stressed. If you have a very stressful life, you likely are deficient in magnesium. So yeah, this was, I hope, not a too long video about gastritis. Anyway, you can heal your digestive issues, okay? I explain that in all of my videos. I explain that in my website. So go check out my website, thecandidaslayer.com. Join me on my Facebook group. Also, the link will be under this video. If you have any questions, I answer your questions in the Facebook group. If you need someone to help you heal your digestive issues, this is what I offer on my website. You will find the link under this video again. I offer private coaching, and you can also buy a course on how to heal your gut and your digestive issues in general. So if you need someone to hold your hand the whole time, to be there on your side and to help you, to motivate you to do the protocol to heal your gut and your digestive system, that's what I do. And you can just contact me if you would like my help.